Hello, hello, beautiful humans. Welcome back to Teach Jenn Tech. And we're starting our week off again, which I'm pretty excited about, with Ramon again.
Hey, how we all doing?
And that is one of my favorite parts because you're always so delightful. So it's like a good way for the rest of us to start our week off.
It's a joy. I had such a good time last time. I'm excited to hop back on and do it again.
Yay. All right. So, as a heads up, everyone, Ramon, if you are just catching the live today, Ramon was on the show last Monday, and we were learning about like backend development with Express and JS, and we did not get through everything. So, this is why you're back.
Yes, it was yeah. So what we did, we got started in some express.js. We added one endpoint to our app. So we need to expand a little bit on our API and also add a database layer to it, which is going to be super fun.
And if anybody wants to check out the previous video, I just linked it in the chat. So if you need to catch up there, you will be able to find it. And we did go ahead and get started on some terminal products because we needed to get set up and get us closer to just getting where we were last week. So here we go. All
Awesome.
right. We're there. We are in the Ramona's Rad folder, which is what we are calling this project. And that is
who am I to
basically all
argue
we've
with a
done.
folder name?
Yes. So that is where we are so far. And now we need to reopen everything. And I'm going to leave that up to you because I don't exactly know where to start again.
Sure. So we're going to open up the folder we're currently in VS Code. Do you remember how to do that?
Code space dot.
That's it.
Yay. Let's see if it works because I've had to do this with like it doesn't, and is it Command Shift P?
Yeah.
Okay. I keep enabling this.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and it's recently used.
Well, that's odd.
Yeah, so it just like doesn't like me. Oh. See?
Oh, that did it.
It likes it that time. I have to install it like every time. It's a little annoying, but that's okay.
Maybe there's something to be done there with like your shell settings. Shell being the program that runs commands in your terminal.
That could be it. That totally could be it.
Okay, cool. So why don't we?
Oh, we got a quick comment. There's a ZSH thing. Wow, I cannot say that from Go Gadget. That is just a fun name.
Go Gadget. Good to see you. Yeah. So, there's a Z shell thing. Good to know. You wouldn't happen to have a link to that, would you, Go Gadget? That'd be super helpful, please. Thank you. Cool. So we've got our VS Code project here, which is our Express backend. Tell you what, let's quickly recap where we were and sort of get ourselves back up to speed before we start messing around with it again. Sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's open up app.js and see what this does. So what we've got here is, we import Express. We create an app based on that Express dependency. We declare one endpoint to the root path that responds with some HTML as a string saying BRB sometime in the next month. Then in line 8, yay, we're back. Love it. Yeah, that was sooner than we thought we'd be.
Only a week.
Then on line 8, we set up our server, which is the program that listens out for requests on port 3334. That when it starts up, it says, "Hey, I'm listening on this port." So let's confirm that that's what it's doing. So to do that, we're going to run node.
Is it node and then space app.js?
That's right. We're telling node, hey, run this file.
And
so now it's listening.
We can go to the browser, pull this over, and then local dot 334. Yay, it worked.
And we can confirm that, hey, it's it updated.
Yes.
It ran yay, we're back, which is great. So what we're going to do next is start building out an API. Let's not have this return yay, we're back anymore. Let's instead return some data. Let's pretend we have an API. Gogo Gadget got us a link. Thank you very much.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah. And right. So let's remember, this all started last week from wanting to make an app where we would store kind words that are shared about us.
Mm-hmm.
You remember?
Yes.
Right. And what I usually store, so what are these? What is a kind word? What is it that we want to display? We would want to display a set of messages that consist of the name of the person that sent it to us. What else?
The message itself.
Message itself.
And
maybe the date. Perfect. Those three. These are called attributes. These are the three attributes that make up a single. Now we need to come up with a name of the entity. Entity being the thing that we're storing and querying for. Could call it posts, could call it words. Nah, it doesn't work. I'm for posts.
Sure. I'm gonna go with sure. Hey Lee, thank you for joining.
Hey. So, right. So we want to send, we're going to send off this data as a collection of posts.
Okay.
Right. So in order to do that, let's do some JavaScript.
Okay.
Let's hop on line. Oh yeah, we can kill our server. Awesome. So between lines 2 and 3, let's create a new line. And we're going to define a const where we will store our posts. So we could just call it posts.
No. Const equals post, or can I do
no, you were right. You were right.
Oh, yay. Yay.
But it's a plural. Mm-hmm. So this will be set to be equals an array. Do you remember how to declare an array in JavaScript? Not quite. No. We want to use the square bracket notation. So this is an array, right? Right now it's empty because there's nothing in it.
Right.
Let's put some data in it. And these posts will be objects. We good with JavaScript objects?
Yes. Good enough. Good enough.
Good enough is good. Good enough is absolutely plenty. Let's create an object. That's done with the curly brackets. So let's hit enter. So this object, as all posts, are just going to be made up of 3 attributes. The first one, let's call it, that's the name of the person who sent us the kind words. Sender.
Now, do I need to do value equals sender or something like that?
No, these are key value pairs in JavaScript, which means it'll be all lowercase key colon value. So, sorry, the key in this case is the name of the property, which is sender. So Sender is the key. And remember, this is test data for us. So we'll put in a space and then a string. And now we'll put in the name, any name. This is our test data. Anybody? Oh, let's throw the one from yes, you read my mind. You read my mind. Yes. So that's our first key value pair. So after the string, let's put in a comma.
Oh, comma.
Hit return. And now we'll do the second attribute, which was message. Comment
message.
is good.
Like message. Oh, no, it has to be lowercase.
Yes.
How many exclamation points did you put, Lee? Yeah, I was like, I don't know. 3?
No, it's 3.
4?
It's 3. It's 3. We're good.
Okay.
I'm glad that you were also like, I gotta get it right.
I think it would be cool to say, not drop my AirPods. That would be helpful. But to say not only the date, which that one's pretty easy.
But don't forget, we're adding a new attribute. So
comma.
That's why you're getting the underline.
Okay, and then
and the date.
Today is July 18th.
But be careful. Dates are not strings. They're displayed as strings. But in JavaScript, we have a special data type for dates.
Oh.
I can give it to you. It's capital D date. So what you can do is remove the string quote marks, and we'll make a date. But the capital gives us the indication that this is a JavaScript class. So we want to create a new space date. So if you go back to the beginning so just before the capital D, put in a new, N-E-W, but not capital, space, date, and let's remove that equals. Now what we're doing is initializing a date. So we want to put in, I call them smooth brackets. Like, I don't know if that's the correct term. And always when putting brackets, we want to not leave a space between the bracket and the keyword. That was a lot. What have we done here? We have created a new date instance. We can actually, let's do that. Let's go to the terminal. Or no, wait, let's open up your browser.
Okie dokie.
Should have done this from the beginning. I apologize.
Browser.
Cool. Could you open up the console? I don't know how to do that from here.
Like what page? From
any page.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll go to Twitter.
Twitter's a good call.
That's always my default. And then
so let's open up the console. Now, yeah. So what do we have here? We have a JavaScript playground we can play with. Could you do me a favor and make it slightly bigger? I think it's like Shift Command Plus. Nice. So
really big now.
That's perfect. I see it very well. Thank you. What we can do here is essentially mess around with JavaScript. So, for example, we can do 1 + 1. Here at the bottom where the little blue
thank you
chevron is. 1 + 1.
And this keyboard, I'm gonna get used to it. Equals 2.
Yeah, Yay. If you hit enter, it'll execute that JavaScript and show us what it returns. So this expression 1 + 1 gives us 2. Let's try it the same with new date. So
new date.
And then
so it automatically filled that in. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Bracket.
Hit enter. So that gives us what creating a new date does is gives us a date object immediately set to the time at which you executed that command. If you run it again, if you press up, you can press up to do it, I think.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. So let's hit enter. Now notice the difference. The first time it was at 10:15 20 with 29 seconds. Now it's at 10:15 with 55 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that it's constantly updating, but rather that that object has its seconds value set to the moment that you hit enter. Do it again, it's 16:14.
That's fun.
So what we're doing is storing the current date, and date extends to time, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for going with me down this rabbit hole. Let's hop on back to VS Code. So great. We've got a posts set to Lee loving these videos and date. Now,
I want to add one more.
Oh yeah, go for it. Don't forget the comma.
Freaking commas. This is going to be platform, and I'll say linked in live.
Ooh, like it.
I don't remember my commas.
Yeah. So here's an interesting quirk about JavaScript. The last one doesn't require a comma, but it won't complain if you put it either.
Okay. I'm glad. I'm glad for that.
You can totally put them in. Nobody minds.
All right. Go gadget. I'm gonna. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think see if I can read today. I think I'm going to now grok. Is it groking or grokking?
I think it's grokking.
Grokking, that opening up the browser and trying things out in the console, kind of the JavaScript version of a Jupyter notebook.
Are you familiar with Jupyter?
No. That just sounds cool.
I think it's like and I'm gonna super get this wrong because I don't do a lot of Python myself. It's kind of like a Python playground that you can write stuff in. So it's like a living notebook. I could be totally wrong.
Yes. I eventually want to get to Python once I learn enough about JavaScript. So yeah, you got it right.
Nice.
So go gadget. You'll have to come on or hang out with us when we get to Python.
I have it on good authority that Go Gadget would be an excellent guest. No pressure to them.
That's what I have to remember. Yay!
Awesome. So right back here, let's define our first proper for our API. Let's keep the lines 9 to 12. That'll be sort of our hello world. Let's add a new endpoint. So this will be a get request like before. We can put it either before or after the one we currently have. Your call where we put it.
So we can put it like on line 17.
So it does have to be before the listen.
Okay. So line 13.
For example.
Okay. So it would be app.get.
Mm-hmm. We're going to create a get endpoint for getting all of our posts. So the string.
The string would be called posts?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
But this is what it shows, so it can be cap.
So that's not quite right. If you've worked, no, you're good. So this is now we're finally doing some API design, which I'm quite excited about, because and if you've worked with APIs, you'll need what's called a path, right? api.github.com/users/repositories.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to get /posts.
So
// Exactly. So when we'll be able to try this out. We'll need our function to, that will look pretty much mostly the same.
Can't see it with it. Response. And then do an squiggly.
Yes. I like the term squiggly. It's good.
It helps me like know which ones people are talking about.
Totally. So let's now response.send our posts.
Posts?
Mm-hmm. Let's try it out.
Is it a string or?
Great question. We are going to be responding with our array of posts.
Okay.
So that the way you're doing it now, perfect.
Okay.
Now let's fire up our server and don't forget to save. Yep. Somebody recently told me there's a way to get VS Code to autosave, which is quite cool.
That's fancy.
If you're like me and you forget to save all the time, which I do a lot. So let's refresh this. This gives us yay, we're back. Why? Because we asked for the root path. But if we wanted to get the posts, yep.
Yay!
Okay. So this looks good. This is giving us text.
Right.
Which we don't quite want. Because what we want to do instead is respond with this data in such a way so that other apps can understand what it is that we're receiving. What does that mean? When for example, when let's say you've got a mobile app, right? This is a lie, by the way. There's no phone in here. Like my phone's currently my webcam. Anyway, completely irrelevant. Let's say your phone is interacting with, say you're logged into Twitter on your phone. What you're doing is having your phone app send a request to the server asking for my latest tweets. Right?
Okay.
The app, the server will tell the app, hey, this is how I formatted the app, the response, the data, because there are different formats for this kind of data. I don't think we talked about XML, or do I seem to remember us talking about XML?
Ooh.
Did we do RSS? Do I seem to remember you and Anthony covering RSS feeds?
We talked about it, but we didn't create one.
Right. See, I thought I remembered that. Most RSS feeds are written in a format called XML.
Right.
No idea.
And isn't XML also like CSV?
CSV is a text formatting data standard for a format that is different from XML. XML is formatted as a bunch of HTML-like tags.
Okay.
Where CSV, as the name says, is comma separated values.
And real quick, Go Gadget, you can add those as many as you want. I'm copying and pasting them and saving them to when we're done today, so I can set all that up. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. So, right. XML, CSV. There's a third one that you've actually worked with called JSON.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yep. In fact, we have a JSON file in our project. Do you remember which one?
The one that's called .json?
Yes.
Well, I mean, technically we have two, but it's the
Yeah.
package.json.
And the reason this looks like a JavaScript object is because it pretty much is. It's JSON is short for JavaScript Object Notation. And this is a way of storing data that that looks like JavaScript objects. And it's like, I don't want to call it de facto, but it is one of the most widely used ones in modern web development. So if you're doing stuff in JSON, you're pretty good to go. But what does that mean for us? It means we need to format our posts to be in JSON.
Really quick, I don't know if
Yeah.
I remember asking you this time. What is the difference between JSON and YAML?
Formatting. Do you have a YAML file there by any chance?
No, I'm just thinking about, because a lot of it is comparing it to like things that I kind of know about, but
Sure.
and then when I worked at Stoplight, the option for some of it was a JSON file or a YAML file. And so that's where I'm going with it, not that it necessarily needs to be talked about right now.
No, you're totally good. And that is an excellent, because I would argue that YAML and JSON and XML are pretty equivalent in functionality, storing data.
Okay.
Right?
Cool.
You
That
write
helps.
data. So it's so instead of having the curly brackets and name, well, there are colons in YAML. But yeah, it's just formatting.
Cool. Thank you.
And GoGoGadget very helpfully and kindly shared the difference between YAML and JSON. Thank you. Super handy. That's what I love about streaming, is that folks are so helpful and send us links and stuff.
It is here. I do want to point it out, and I'll make sure it's in the comments, but I'm going to read it later.
Awesome.
Thank you, GoGoGadget.
Yeah, thank you. So,
what? That is so cool. GoGoGadget used to be a librarian. Oh my gosh, you're like one of my favorite kind of people. I'm not the best at references, so I get frustrated at Googling or looking for it. So thank you for joining today.
You two need to team up.
That would be fun.
So, full disclosure, I know GoGoGadget, so like,
that's okay.
Highly recommend. Sweet. So app.js. So what we're going to do is respond in JSON.
Okay.
So let's open up app.js again. And let's toggle away the project, because we don't need to see all of it. Yeah. So so line 14, response.send. Here we're sending what's called a plain text response. Now, we're going to talk about HTTP. We talked about HTTP last time, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about different request types. What also is taking place here is we're also telling the recipient, hey, this is the kind of data that I'm responding with. This is the format that I'm responding in. And this is a piece of text called a header. So a response is kind of like a document, and it's got some headers to tell you what to expect from the data that you're getting. So what you're essentially saying with the header is, hear ye, I am a JSON response, or I am a plain text response, or I am some other kind of response. Right? Now, because Express is a very nice piece of tech, it actually gives us a shortcut to be able to do that. So let's replace send in line 14 with JSON. And let's restart. Let's save and restart. Now you're probably looking at that and thinking,
Ooh.
well, hello, Twitch.
It's like it went way too high. There we go.
Now you're probably looking at that and thinking, well, that's the same. And the reason it is because to the browser, it is. The browser got a string of JSON and said, well, I'll just display that string, whatever you say.
Okay.
But when we start using this API in, say, a mobile app or in some kind of front-end development app, now it's going to be a lot cleverer and say like, aha, we're dealing with JSON here, which is all well and good, but we still got stuff to do here. So
Okay.
let's make our lives easier. I don't know about you, but it's getting a little bit, is the correct term annoying? It's getting a bit cumbersome to restart the server every time we make a change.
Yeah.
So let's set up something called Nodemon. Nodemon. I don't know how to pronounce it. So let's go back to the terminal, shut down our server, and we're going to install the npm package Nodemon, which is node and then mon. So first we need to npm and then install and then the name of the package.
Oh.
And then node.
Oh, afterwards?
No, it's one word. So it's Nodemon. Sorry, I described that badly.
Node Mon
or mon,
okay.
like the second part of my name, second half of my name. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I'll get there.
No, you're good.
Yay.
So now I've installed something called Nodemon. Quick, do me a quick favor, please. Let's try running Nodemon. So, and just write Nodemon into your terminal. Let's see what happens. Good. That's fine. We've installed this tool called Nodemon, which in turn installs an executable file. Let's go over to package.json. Oh, actually, no, let's stay in the terminal for a sec. I'm sorry to take us on so many tangents, but I swear that you're going to love this. Let's type in // node modules. And don't forget, you can tab to autocomplete. There's an underscore in between.
And then enter.
No, not yet. .bin. Oh, no, keep that slash. .bin. bin. Sorry, the first one was right. / Nodemon. Now, don't hit enter just yet. So what's going on here? When we install a package, it also installs all of the executable files, all of the executable scripts into this .bin folder. So we've got Nodemon. Now we're going to pass, and now we're going to give it the name of the file that it should monitor. So let's put in space and then app.js. I have no idea if this is going to work, by the way.
And it knows that it's going to monitor this one because we're in its the folder that app.js is in.
Yeah. Right? So we're saying, hey, run and watch. Yeah. See? So it's like, hey, I'm watching it. We can actually try it out. Let's gosh, I don't know. Let's change app.js real quick. Any change.
Okay. 2 seconds.
Take your time. Let's add an enter between line 15 and 16, for example. Because we're going to add a post request in a second. Okay, save that.
Oh,
now go back to your terminal. Look at that. Restarting due to changes. So it started up node.js, node app.js again, which is cool. So now we'll never have to restart the server again.
Oh, yay. That's fun.
Actually, we can try it out. How about let's change yay we're back to yay we're
live.
I was, you read my mind. Save it.
Save.
Refresh your
Yay.
browser.
Oh, too many things on one screen. Yes.
Look at that.
Changed
So
it.
now we don't refresh anymore. This is something that you do in a lot of projects. So when you're in development mode, you don't want to be starting and shutting down your server all the time. So just use Nodemon. Super handy.
So if I need to install Nodemon in each project, like if I wanted to go back into Anthony's with React, I would need to be in that folder to.
I believe the project you created with React might have already set up Nodemon or an equivalent.
Maybe.
Most likely, yes.
Okay. Cool.
Because that project is created from a template, and so like the people who make this template anticipate what we're going to need.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So we are now gonna, we got to get to the database part. Let's add another endpoint to our, which is going to be a post request. So
app.post.
App.post. Now this will be the same route. So it'll be posts. This is where things get a little weird, but we'll get there. Same function.
Okay. Curly bracket. Enter.
Now, for now, we're gonna have this post request. Just add a new post, like with generic with data that we're building in now. So, do you know how to add a member to an array?
No.
So we've got access to our posts, right? From line 3. We've got so we're going to call posts dot push. So this will push something new onto our array. Now we need to give it a parameter. So smooth brackets. And we want to put in an object that represents a new post. That's curly brackets. So let's hit enter. Now let's put in some generic data once again. The 4 same attributes. But let's make it distinguishable from the first one. So let's make it, let's just change it to whatever.
I have one.
Oh, you do? Nice.
Yes. Hold on. I gotta get their name. Oh, I forgot my comma. Gotta put my comma.
Don't forget the comma, yeah.
If it's too long like that, do I just put it into one?
Oh, I think you can do triple quote marks to do a multi-line string.
Let's just...
Or just put it all on one string.
Yeah, I will.
One line, pardon me.
I'll put a space. Space. Oh,
that works.
You kept your space. And it doesn't need to have a nice day. That's okay. All right. And then, got to put my comma all the way down here. No. There we go. And then date. New
Perfect.
Vite. And platform Twitter. Yeah. Yay. And save.
Nice. And you know what? Let's just so we can monitor on our terminal, let's put a console log. Added new post.
Oh, wait.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Console dot log, right?
Yep.
Wait,
Don't forget
would
the
this
string.
be a string? Okay.
Yep.
Is that it?
Perfect. So let's save that. Now
I'm
let's go
done.
back to our browser and go to /posts. Now we see here our JSON data of our single post.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're probably wondering, okay, but how do I post? And certainly can't do that with how we've been doing it so far. Why? That's because when you put an address in a location bar in a browser, it's sending off a GET request.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's the GET data?
Mm-hmm.
To post data from a browser, most of the time what we do is fill in an HTML form. So we could fill in an HTML form, but that would require creating an HTML file.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you, Jen, is do you want to quickly whip up an HTML file to send off that form, or should we be lazy and do it with a terminal command?
Terminal command.
Terminal command. Good. So let's now the problem is you're currently running your server here, and I don't know about you, but I don't want to stop the server. It's doing its thing.
Okay.
Besides, we need to have it running so that we can send the post request. So
Okay.
let's open a tab. That would be Command T. Just like in a browser.
Okay.
So now, yeah, so we've got it running. We've still got it running on tab 1, and now we can do stuff here. Now, we're going to be using a tool on the terminal used for sending HTTP requests called curl. Let's hit enter and see if it's installed on your computer. It is. Nice. So, by the way, I think it's short for, I don't know what the C is, but URL. You know URL, right? Yeah.
Right.
Cool. So let's curl. So CURL space dash capital X. This is to tell it we're going to do this kind of HTTP request. So put in a space. And now in all caps, post. Space. And now we're going to put in the URL. So that's HTTP colon / localhost colon 3334 / posts. Now, yeah, and that's it. It's doing a thing. No idea if this is going to work, by the way, as always.
It is doing a thing.
It is doing a thing.
Thinking.
It's taking oddly long, I have to be honest. Let's go back to tab 1. Hey!
It added the
did do a
new
thing.
post.
Well, then let's refresh here.
Hey.
There you go.
It added it. That's exciting.
What I'm confused about, go back to tab 2. It did add the new post, but this is still running. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
What
I
happens
think,
if I...
well, if you hit Control C, that's good. But I think the problem is that it thinks the process is still running. So here's what we're going to do. Let's return. So go back to your app.js. And between line 24 and 25, let's return. Sorry, just type in return.
Oh.
Save that. No idea if this is going to work, by the way, as always. Now hit up. Hey, yeah, do it. Oh, would you look at that? It's still, that's very odd. Let's see. I'm going to Google that real quick. Yeah, because it added a new post. So let's see. Curl post request not showing response. Yeah. Express. Process in express.js when content type is not mentioned. Body parser. So I believe the problem is that in our curl request, reply empty from server. Did you do that, or is that something it did automatically?
Yeah. No, I think I did it because I just changed the name to see if it would change.
Yeah. Okay.
And it did update again, but when I saved it, it said empty reply from server.
Huh.
But it did update it because I changed the name to Yo.
And there it is.
I need to run it again, and it freezes, but it added it back properly.
Nice. So I suspect, let's go back to our terminal and hit Control C. Remember when I was talking about headers?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't specify a header for our request.
Okay.
Right? Let's try adding one. So go back to our terminal. Hit up. Now move your cursor with your keyboard, like with the left arrow key, over to just after post, between post and HTTP. Now, I'm going to send you some stuff that we'll just cover. I'm going to send it to you on the private chat.
Okay.
Paste that in, please. It's kind of long to have me spell out to you. Let's paste it.
Do we need spaces?
You will need a space after the post. You see where it says post-h right now?
Oh, yes.
Nice. So what we're saying here is, hey, to this post request, add this header. And the header has this content. It's content type. And we're saying, hey, the request I'm sending to you is formatted in JSON.
Oh, it added it again.
Did we run it? Oh, and it didn't finish. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. Express.
But it's kind of interesting that it added it twice.
No, it added it. It didn't add it twice. You added it twice by running the request twice. Run it again and it'll add it again. Go back to app.js and replace return with response.end. I have no idea if this is going to work. I'm just looking at docs as we do this.
End?
Yeah, and then smooth brackets.
Safe?
Yep.
You want the one with the JSON or without the JSON?
Yeah, let's do it the one with JSON.
It went really fast. Yay.
Which is good. And there we go.
Yay.
So this is cool, except it's just going to add the same data every time, which is not what we want.
Right.
So what we can do in a post request is also, when we're sending a post request, we can also send data.
Okay.
So tell you what, Let's go back to the terminal. And this is where things are going to get a little bit bulky. So press up, space, dash lowercase d, short for data.
Enter.
Yes. No. Sorry. Thank you. Space, and then a string. But let's make this a single quote string. Nice. Now we're going to write our JSON as we have before. In fact, tell you what, go back to the browser. And copy everything. Just copy the body of the whole response of the second one. So from curly bracket to curly bracket. Include the curly bracket though.
Oh. Yeah. Curly bracket.
Nice.
Curly bracket. Okay.
Go back to the terminal and give it a big old paste. Now hit enter.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
B quote.
That means we didn't terminate a string somewhere. Well, that doesn't make sense. We did terminate the string. Oh my gosh. Hit Control C. I know what the problem is. Now let's try again. And please do me a favor and remove all apostrophes from Mr. Siddharth's message. I think I see an I've hesitated to DM people. Oh, no, not those. No, go back and keep those on platform. I'm sorry, I was unclear.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Maybe hit Control C and press up again. Okay, now move your left arrow key. Let's see. Hey, Jen, thank you so much for putting...
You can't go up. You can only... Okay.
Oh, yeah, you can. It's one line. So let's see. Thank you so much on behalf of people who are still figuring out. I've hesitated. I think that's the only apostrophe in there. You know what the problem is? It's treating that apostrophe as ending the JSON string.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, let's leave a typo in there. Yeah. Cool. Now, of course, if we go and refresh our browser, I mean, we're still using the hardwired data, so it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But this should now give us access to the JSON data. So let's go back to app.js. And let's console log. Sorry, between lines 17 and 18. So console log request.body. Nope, no string. Because we want to get that data. So request.body. Let's give it a try. Did you save?
Yep.
Yeah, then send the request again. Now let's go back to tab 1 and have a look. Undefined. So that didn't work. What we tried logging something that doesn't exist. I thought it would exist. I was wrong. So let's go back to app.js while I look up something real quick.
Cool.
Process JSON. So let's have a look. Request.body. That should be right. If you are using valid JSON and posting it with content type application JSON, then you can use body parser middleware. Aha. Oh. Aha. Sorry, I know that's a lot of aha. That's not very helpful. Let's go back to the top real quick.
To which one?
Sorry, the top of our app.json. So between lines 2 and 3, we're going to add a middleware. So app.use, and then in brackets, express.json. And that JSON will also have brackets. Perfect. What we're doing here is telling Express, hey, process JSON, please.
Oh, because we added Express in here, but we didn't add JSON in here for Express
Exactly.
to use JSON.
Exactly. So let's send in that request again, and let's see what happens. Go back to tab 1.
Oh, tab 1. Added new post.
Hey,
it shows it in there. Yay!
Good. This is excellent because it means that now we have access to. We can now process this data.
Okay.
So let's go back to our app.js. And after this, we'll finally be able to do some databases.
Okay.
So posts.push, line 20.
Okay.
Sorry, before we do that, we need to turn this data from JSON to an object.
Okay.
Because right now, because JSON is a string. What we sent it is a string. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, oh, but request up. I'm sorry, ignore what I said. That is a JavaScript object. So on line 21, let's replace Siddharth. I'm sorry, is it Siddharth? I'm bad at the pronunciation.
I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Sorry if I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I seem to remember it. Let's remove that string altogether, including the quote marks. Oh, no, not the object.
Just his name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to replace that with request.body.sender. Excellent. Let's do the same for the other 3 attributes. Now be careful. Can you scroll to the left? We don't want the message to be set to the request body sender. We want to be set to request body
post.
No, the post is the whole object. This very specifically is. So request.body is that object that is made up of those 4 attributes that we're sending from a client to the server, right?
Right.
It's made up of a sender, a message, a date, and a platform.
Oh, message. Got it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Same for date.
Now, this is interesting. Do we really need to send a date, or should we just let the server create it?
The server can create it. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yay. And save.
And let's remove the console log on line 19. Do we need it? I don't think we do. We already know what it looks like. Cool. Let's send that post request again.
This one?
Yeah. And if we want, we can send a different one. It's up to us.
Just to see what it looks like now. Probably the same. Yep.
With one difference. I've hesitated no longer has the apostrophe.
Oh, yes.
But that's it. So now we can add posts dynamically, which is cool.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now we've got an API where we can get all of the posts and we can add new posts.
Okay.
Which is all well and good until we have to shut down our server or restart it. What happens? Our posts get set to the initial blank state of having just one, which is not very helpful. This is where a database comes in.
Yay.
So let's install a database. And for the purposes of this exercise, or the purposes of this session, we're going to install something called MongoDB. So let's actually kill our server, because we're going to do some npm install stuff. So what is MongoDB? MongoDB is a database, which is a program whose purpose is to store and retrieve data. So what we do with a database is declare a schema. We cool with the term schema?
Schema is like kind of like a blueprint.
I like that. Yeah, exactly. So before we install MongoDB, we're actually going to install a JavaScript package that acts as a layer between us, the programmer, and MongoDB.
Okay.
Right? This is called the Mongoose.
Okay.
So let's install the package Mongoose with lowercase m.
Okay, so that is npm install Mongoose. Like
Perfect.
That?
Perfect.
Yay.
I want to see what the term is. Because Mongoose is, as I said, a layer around it. And there's a special term for these layers that act between the programming language and the database, which is ORM, which is short for, I think it's object relational mapping. Yes, object relational mapping. So this is mapping posts from us to MongoDB. But of course, we've installed Mongoose. Now we're going to install MongoDB. Now, let's see here. That's what you have there. Is there an easy way to do it? Here. I'm going to send you a link, if I may. Private chat. By the way, I've last time I installed MongoDB was ages ago, so we're definitely going to hit some bumps. But that's okay. We're learning.
Okay, so we're at community server.
And then download.
Over here. Cool. And then once that's installed, I should be able to install it from the terminal, or I need to open this?
1 sec. This is going to require some like hard wiring stuff. And I was kind of hoping there'd be a homebrew. There is a homebrew. There is a homebrew way. Here, I'll send you 2 commands. And I'm very sorry, Jen. It was on the website that you were on.
Yep. Well, thank you for telling me. I did Google right. That's good.
You did Google it right. This guide I was using did not. Here,
that's
I'll send you a link.
Okay. And then
scroll down to you've already installed Homebrew. So step 1, brew tap MongoDB/brew.
Okay. So
that's going to tell Homebrew to be like, hey, here's a package you could install called MongoDB/brew. After that, we'll do brew update.
You hit the back button. There we go.
It's doing its thing. And then after that, we will brew install MongoDB.
And what is Homebrew?
It is a package manager.
Okay.
Kind of like NPM is a package manager. Homebrew is one. So NPM is a package manager for all things JavaScript, right?
Okay.
Homebrew is a package manager for all kinds of open source slash terminal programs on your Mac. So it is specific. I think Homebrew's on Windows now as well, or on Linux. I could be wrong. Regardless, yeah, Homebrew lets you install open source packages and install them on your Mac, such as MongoDB. So after
Very
running
cool.
brew install, that's how you installed Node.js, for example, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and other stuff. So yeah, now it's going to install a whole bunch of stuff, which is totally fine because we don't actually need to worry. We can let it run and go back to VS Code.
Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I need to raise my desk and stand for a bit.
Take your time.
Because it takes. I like that it's a electronic, but it does take a while to actually.
Oh yeah, is it the IKEA one?
No, I don't remember
Sorry to
what
ask
brand it is.
if it's
Yeah,
fine.
no. It was actually less expensive than an IKEA one because it was on
Gotcha.
sale, but I don't remember what brand it is.
Totally fair.
Okay.
Cool.
So I'm back in VS Code.
Yes. Now let's go and import Mongoose. So between lines 1 and 2.
And that would it be the const express or which would be const Mongoose?
Yeah, const Mongoose.
Const Mongoose equal require Mongoose. Like that?
Looks good. Next, we're going to set up. So, actually, go back to the terminal. It looks like it finished.
Yay.
To start MongoDB /brew/MongoDB community now and restart at login, brew services start MongoDB brew MongoDB community. So what does that mean? What this command would do is start up MongoDB and have it run when you turn on your computer. It is totally fine to have it run when you turn on your computer. If you're going to be doing lots of web development, you're going to be doing MongoDB. So it's a good idea to have it running. If you ever want to shut it down, you can do brew services stop MongoDB.
Okay.
And so on and so forth. So now MongoDB is running, which is fabulous.
Groovy.
So let's go back to VS Code. So MongoDB and your server are going to be two separately running programs. MongoDB does its own thing, and your server does its own thing, which is good, except we need to create a connection between the two.
Right.
That's what we're going to be writing next. So between lines 2 and 3, let's set up a new const, which is equals to, let's call it MongoDB.
Space equal to.
Now this is going to be the URL of our database. Okay.
Okay.
So that'll be in a string because it's an address. MongoDB : // Now we're going to put in the IP address of our MongoDB database, right? You've used this address before as localhost, but we're going to use the actual IP address,
okay,
which is 127.0.0 again, 0.1, So that's the IP address, right? /. Now we need to give our database a name. Let's call it kind_words. So this is the address where our kind words database lives.
Okay.
Awesome. So after that, let's create a new line. And we're going to connect Mongoose to this URL. So that's mongoose.connect. Now we'll give it some parameters.
Which is parentheses.
That's right.
Okay.
And now that URL.
Okay. Doesn't help when I can't see it. Okay.
Oh, no. Use a variable.
Oh. So just MongoDB.
That's right.
Okay, cool.
Comma. And then the options object I just sent you in the private chat. Use new URL parser true and use unified topology true. We're telling Mongoose, hey, when you connect to MongoDB, do these things.
Okay.
I have no idea what these do.
Okay.
I would say let's put a pin on finding out what these do and get your, let's see if we can get this connected. Yeah. So let's add a new line after that to get the actual connection. So let's declare a new variable and let's call it DB, short for database.
Would it be require again? Or would it just be?
No, it's our Mongoose.
Okay.
The one we declared in line 2.
So just Mongoose?
Mm-hmm.
Like that? Okay.
Dot connection. Now here we've got now whenever we want to interact with our database, we can use this DB object.
Okay.
Good so far?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're doing a lot. Yeah, we'll get there. So I'm also going to send you another command that you're going to paste the line after, kind of long and chunky. So this is saying, hey, if it doesn't connect, show an error.
Okay.
Yeah?
Got it.
Let's run and see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen.
And to run it, that was something.
That was the Nodemon one.
No.
Oh, actually, Jen, let's take the opportunity now and create ourselves a nice NPM shortcut.
Okay.
Let's go package JSON.
Okay.
Now, line 6, between line 6 and 7, let's add a new line. We're going to add a new script. So its name is the key. So let's call it start. So that'll be a colon. And now as a string, we're going to do the actual command.
And that is no.
Don't forget the string.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's Nodemon. Oh, sorry.
No, I don't remember.
No, you're good. So Nodemon, perfect. And then the name of the file we want to monitor.
Which is the really long file?
Nope.
Or app.js?
It is app.js.
If I save this and I run start.
I'm so sorry, Laura. Sorry. Why did I call you Laura? Jen. I'm so sorry, Jen. You forgot a comma.
Damn it. It's always the commas for me. I'm going to get the commas.
So now we can type in npm start.
Oh, yay.
No error means that we are connected to our MongoDB instance.
Yay.
Which is excellent. And we can leave that running now.
I'm curious. So has it changed this yet?
No.
Okay.
Wait, give it a refresh.
Should give us that error. Okay. So
why is that? That's because if we go back to, oh yeah.
But we're not running the server right now, are we?
Yes, we are. Here. We did npm start.
Oh, and it starts running the server and the database. Okay.
Well, the database, remember, we started it up when we ran brew services start MongoDB.
Got it. Okay.
MongoDB is running in its own thing. We just started up our Express server.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes.
Cool. Let's go back to app.js. Now, let's start creating a schema.
Okay.
So, and I have no idea how this works. We are learning this from scratch.
Oh, go gadget new UI.
Oh.
From a minute ago.
Please do tell. New UI what? Sorry.
Probably why the server was still running and I got confused on that.
Oh, yeah. So let's see. Boost. So we are going to declare a new schema, right? For our database. And we only want one, which is the posts.
Okay.
So could you scroll up, please? And let's put it, let's do all of our MongoDB stuff before our Express stuff. And I don't know about you, but this is getting a little bit hard to read, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
How about we use comments to make our lives a little easier? So between lines 2 and 3, let's add a comment. Set up MongoDB. You can, yep. Or that, perfect. Perfect. Then
connection.
Actually, I was going to say, let's separate this by concern. So set up database connection with MongoDB. Perfect. And then between lines 7 and 8, let's put in 3 new lines. So we got lots of space. And in the second one, we put in our comment. Set up Express server, for example.
I like the space thing. I'm going to put that here.
I like it too. It makes it easy for me to, yeah. Cool. So after line 9, let's now declare our schema. So const post schema.
Post dot schema or post schema?
No, it's one variable name. So that needs to be camel case.
Okay.
So, and we'll set that to be.
Why do you not like me? Whatever.
It's because we're not done writing it.
equals
new space Mongoose dot, no space, capital S schema, and it takes a parameter and a curly bracket. Hit enter, and now we're going to define our schema,
which is all the attributes and keys we used earlier, like sender, message. Okay.
So we got sender, but what do we put here? Now we put in a data type.
Text?
String with capital S. Don't forget the space. Yes. Nice. Nice.
Date's different though. Is it date with a capital?
It's date with a capital.
And then you're still getting a comma just so I get used to using commas. There we go.
Perfect. Then we're going to create a class for our model. A model is a commonly used term here for thing that gets saved to the database.
Okay.
One post will be a model.
Okay. I get confused on classes. Like it's something I got really, really confused on. So I'm just going to go with it.
We'll go with it. We can also at some other point talk about JavaScript constructors, prototypes, classes, and subclasses, and just throw out all the jargon while I can. No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm just kidding around. But no, you're totally good. So in the context of databases, what we're doing here is defining a schema from which we can define a model.
Okay.
So after line 15, we'll define a new variable.
And that's still a const, right? Or is it variable?
No, it is const. No, you're good with const.
Model?
Let's call it post with capital P. And we'll set that to be equals mongoose.model. And this will take two parameters. The first is a string, no object.
Okay.
Yeah. The first is a string, which is the name of the model. And that'll always be the same as the variable name here. So that'll be post with a capital P. So when we go into the database, there will be a table of posts.
Okay.
And the second parameter is the schema, which we defined on line 10.
And I put it as Mongoose schema.
It's not mongoose.schema. It's the schema that we defined in line 10.
So it'd be post schema?
Correct. Perfect. Now we can start declaring, saving, and retrieving posts.
Okay.
I don't know about you. I find that exciting. I just need to look up how to get all of them, but let's go down to the post request. So instead of posts, actually, so sorry. Let's scroll back up. Line 22. Const posts. Bin it. We don't need it anymore. All of it.
Even lines the 10, app.
No, 22 to 27. Okay. Those lines are gone. That is, of course, going to give us some errors because, for example, in line 32, we're trying to push to something that doesn't exist.
Right. I'm just curious what it looks like right now. So, oh.
Hey,
Okay.
look, what a great error. Look at the top one.
Post not defined. Got
Right.
it.
We took away the definition.
Okay.
So, MongoDB models. So in line 32, where instead of pushing, we're going to declare a new post. So let's say const post equals new post. Yes, replace exactly that with new post.
Oh,
Capital P.
Got?
Let's add a space between new and post. So now it's saying, hey, construct me a post model. Then between lines 37 and 38, post.save. Brackets with no parameters. So that'll save it to the database.
Okay.
That's done. But of course, our GET request is still broken.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I need to find out how to get all querying. Here we go. Update. Let me see. Mongoose get all models. I don't know what it is. How to get an object of all models of a Mongoose instance. No, that's not what I want. Okay. So line 30, let's add a new line between line 29 and 30. So post. Sorry, that's capital P post. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm really sorry. Before line 29, sorry, in line 29, before the function.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's put in async space. Perfect. Now we can
has a light bulb. Convert to arrow function.
You can do it if you want.
Which is just like this.
Actually, you can let VS Code do it automatically, and we can see the difference.
Oh. Okay.
You can undo that if you want, because I seem to remember you preferring writing functions out fully.
Yeah, but I think it'll be good to see that there's differences in it as I'm learning.
Totally. Okay, so let's have const posts. Lowercase. If it's a variable, it's lowercase. Post, capital P, the model, dot find.
Model dot find.
Oh, sorry. No, I meant the post model with a capital P. So post dot find. And then we'll put in our brackets. And inside that, an empty object.
Which means nothing. Don't put anything.
It means curly brackets.
I'm going to learn this stuff.
It takes time. So what are we doing here? We're saying posts, find all of the posts that meet these criteria.
Okay.
But we're not passing any criteria. If there's no criteria, it's just like, all right, then you get all the posts.
Okay.
We're done. I have no idea if this is going to work. I'm very excited. Oh, we got an error. Oh my goodness, and I have no idea what that...
We crashed.
Yeah, it crashed. It crashed real good. Let's look at that. Converting circular structure to JSON. Starting at object with constructor topology. S object with constructor object. This is an error if you see where it says like users, Jenn desktop code folder, Ramon is rad, node modules, express lib, response.js. It's doing something. Tell you what, let's add a, let's go back to our app.js and let's do a console log of console.log posts. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I know what's wrong. In line 30.
Did I forget a comma?
I forgot a thing. Remember how we made this function async?
Yes.
In line 30, after the equals, we want to have await.
What is just the word wait?
Await. So it's like, I am, exactly. That's it. Because find is asynchronous. By doing it this way, we're telling it, no, you wait until it's done getting all the posts. Nice. Empty. Why is it empty?
Because we didn't tell it what to find.
No, it's because our database is empty.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Let's add a post. In the terminal.
Okay. Which was what we did over here.
Yep.
I'm going to add this one.
Yep.
And then
let's take a look at the terminal first.
Added new post. All right. And it added it.
Now, finishing touch. Let's turn off the server, turn it on, and see if it got persisted.
Okay. Control. So I'm just restarting the server, right?
npm start.
npm. And then we're just going to refresh this and see if it's still there.
Yep.
It's still there.
Nice.
So I'm also going to like double check it because it should come up in incognito. Yay!
Of course. It absolutely should. So now, Jen, you've got yourself a bona fide backend app with a database connection.
And if I want to add more, I do
yes, no, you totally can. I don't know about you, but curl is nice, but it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Okay.
What a lot of devs do is they use something called Postman. I don't use it much myself, but we can totally use it if you want. It's an app for doing
let's try that next time because I think I can try doing this a bit the way it is. And I also want to see if I can build this myself with my notes.
Totally.
Or at least add more and possibly pretty it up.
Sure. We did a lot today.
I don't even know how I would do that, but yeah, between the last one and this one, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I commend you. Jen. Listen, let me ask, before we wrap up for today, is there anything here that you're like, I absolutely have no idea what we did here? Or any questions you might have?
No. Maybe. If I went through and looked up the HTML version to add a post, I could make this pretty.
Oh,
Right?
this?
No.
This here?
This, would I just add a HTML insert for this?
Ah. So you wanna make this data look pretty, is what you're saying.
Just like the dog's going bananas.
Take your time. Actually, a few hours. It's already getting time.
I know, and for that's what I'll go for, like, anybody listening or watching. I don't know why she's barking. I think she's just like, Mom, it's time to like finish. She loves cuddles. So I think she's yelling at me for cuddles. Ma'am, you gotta stay quiet for like a little bit longer.
I can answer your question. Aww. She wants a little bit of attention. Sorry, just to make sure I understand correctly, because right now we're looking at the JSON and it's not pretty, right? It's kind of messy looking. So your question is, what can we do to make that nicer?
Yes.
So
I will Google it.
No.
That's my challenge.
No, you're totally good. So the thing is, this API is not meant to render the data, is it?
Okay, right.
It's just meant to be a data. It's the term broker. I'm not sure. It's meant to serve the data. It's just like, hey, you want some data? Here it is.
Got it. So that's when Anthony was talking about adding the front end to the back end.
Exactly. So if you had a React app that would be used to display the posts, then you would do an HTTP request to this backend and be like, get the posts, receive that JSON, and then render it in React.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So really what we're doing here is just having a little program that serves the data and saves the data. In fact, let's do one more thing before we go. Let's do that same curl. Let's do the same GET request, but in the terminal with curl. So let's do curl space HTTP :// localhost :3334 /posts.
Enter.
Yep.
And it showed it.
So it's literally just being like, hey, you want the JSON? I got you.
Cool.
What you do with that is up to you.
Cool. That makes sense. It also makes a lot more sense, like with the front end versus the back end and all of that too. So
this is exciting. We covered loads. Like, kudos, Jen. Like, thank you.
Thank you. It's also, I am still at the moment where I'm like, okay, like I get it, but I don't get it yet. But I can see that I'm starting to get it because like I'm able to guess like what we're going to be doing next a lot easier. Yeah. But
totally.
Okay. There's a lot.
It is a lot. But
and
like
I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, this is I could do this all day. Like, but I think you need to like also have some time to let it settle.
Yes.
Mess around with it.
That is something that I'm learning that I just need to like let it sit.
You need to break it.
I will.
Like, you gotta break it. Like, I think as programmers, like one of the misconceptions we give newcomers is that, oh yeah, we never break anything after when you have 10 years of experience. This is a lie. We break stuff all the time. That's how you learn.
I think that's also something that I keep trying to rebuild it from scratch, and it takes me forever, where I think if I just try to break it or edit it as it is, it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah. Error messages are your friend.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today, Ramon. Almost said the Today Show, which is like a US thing. And I'm like, that's not what we're
I
doing.
mix them up. Which one the Today Show is? I know of it, but I don't know who's on it.
Neither do I. I never watch it anymore. So,
Fair enough.
okay. Well, thank you once again. We definitely did go through a lot, and I feel like I'm going to be asking you back at some point.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Bye.
Best of luck with the homework.